Hello everyone, this is a short video for our children, our parents and our families as we prepare to welcome back our Year 6 children following the government's recent announcement that primary schools should open for Year R, Year 1 and Year 6 after what would normally be the May half-term holiday. And I wanted to share with you some of the measures that we're taking to keep our children and our staff safe. All the plans that we're making have as their main priority everyone's health and safety and their well-being above all else. This means the health and safety of our children, our staff and our school community. We've spent the last week looking at every aspect of what the government is asking us to do so that we can be sure that returning to school is safe for everyone at Fairisle Junior. For our Year 6 children returning to school, we can imagine that our parents may be worried. Indeed, our staff are worried too. We're also parents, and we always make decisions for the children at our school based on those that we would make for our own children. And the easiest way to explain how we plan to keep the children and the staff safe is to take you through the main parts of a day, which will start long before our children and our families are up and about at home. We would ask that you make sure that the children's uniform is clean and ready and that the children also bring their PE kit. We will be expecting our staff to wash their clothes every evening, and advice from the government is that parents do the same. Now, our Year 6 children are a very mature and sensible group of young people, and I know that whatever we ask of them on their first day back in school, they will take to heart and act on for the benefit of themselves and their friends, as well as the adults they know and trust. Our site and cleaning team will be working hard before the day starts to clean all the surfaces in every room that the children and staff will use. This obviously includes toilets, but also includes classroom chairs, tables, and all the other surfaces and door handles and trays, and in fact anything that we may touch. During the school day, we will clean surfaces and handles again. We'll also make sure that bins are emptied and that the supplies of soap and sanitizer and tissues are all replenished. I want to let you know about how routines will work at the start and end of each day. The children will come onto the school site at the normal time, which is 8:40 a.m, either through the gate onto the field and straight down the path onto the junior playground, or through the pedestrian gate in Fairisle Road and around from there onto the playground. The children will come into the building. There are some new markings both outside and inside the building, as well as new signage around the school, which will serve as constant reminders for everyone of the need to keep socially distant at all times, including inside the toilets. If you allow your child to walk or cycle to school by themselves, please impress upon them the need to stay apart from friends on the way to and from school. Bikes and scooters should not be stored on top of each other. At the end of the day, the school will finish at the normal time of 3:15, and we would ask that any parents picking children up wait on the far side of the playground so that the children can get out of the building as easily as possible. We will be using the downstairs classrooms so that each group bubble has their own entrance and exit where the teacher will stand safely. If you bring your child to school, we ask that you leave them at the back of the playground by the red tables and let them come into the building by themselves. You will also need to pick them up from there at the end of each day. Please adhere to your own socially distanced space on the way to and from school, as well as in the playground. And don't forget, at the moment, we're not shaking hands at any time either. In the classrooms, the government guidance says that children should be taught in groups of no more than 15. We've taken into account the size of our rooms and the geography of our school, and we will be welcoming the children back in groups of no more than 10 who will be taught by the same teacher every day for a week in a bubble spaced out to ensure social distancing. The windows will be kept open and all the internal doors held open at all times. The classrooms will look slightly different as well, in that we have removed any unnecessary furniture to give us as much space as possible in each room so that the children sit safely 2 metres apart from each other. Government guidelines state that personal protective equipment, or PPE, is not necessary in schools in most situations, and therefore neither children nor staff will wear masks during the day. However, we do keep PPE for use in certain first aid and medical situations. The children won't be sharing books or resources. They will have their own trays, which will be kept on their table, which will contain everything they need for the day ahead. Everyone will move around the school as little as possible, but when we do, you will see that we've put some markings that are similar to those we have become used to in supermarkets, down on the carpet and around the school. Wherever it's possible, and where the weather allows, we'll be learning outside wherever it's practical, including of course PE, which will be socially distanced. Most importantly throughout the day is our personal hygiene and our hand washing and sanitising for both children and adults. Just as before the school closed for most children, we all washed our hands when we arrived at school, before and after break and lunch, any time we used the toilet, and also just before the end of the day. This will obviously continue. At break times, the children in each bubble will remain totally separate to safeguard everyone's health and safety. Depending on the number of children who will be returning to school, which we will know before the end of this week, we may need to stagger break times and lunch times slightly. If your child has a packed lunch, they should bring it in a bag that they can throw away wherever possible. That means it's easier for the children and less of an issue for parents, as there will be one less thing to wash at the end of each day. Children with a packed lunch will be able to picnic outside whenever the weather is good enough, which we hope is going to be often. If your child has a school lunch, they'll go into the hall in their bubble group and queue up, observing social distancing. A member of staff wearing gloves will give each child the cutlery they need from the servery. We will also serve the children their salad, only if they want it, and water, so lots of hands don't have to touch different items in the lunch hall. The children will eat in their bubble. Obviously, they'll sit at least 2 metres apart from everybody else. When the children have finished eating and they go outside at lunchtime, they will be able to use some of the toys and equipment that we have. Everything will be kept sterilised, and the lunchtime staff will then deep clean all the equipment after the children have finished at the end of each lunchtime. I need to say something about parents and visitors in our school at the moment. I'm sure you will agree that we need to keep the number of visitors to our school to an absolute minimum during this time. And we would ask that parents email or phone the school to make contact in the first instance wherever possible. One of us will get back to you as soon as we can. Please only come into school if you have an emergency or if we ask you to come and collect your child for any reason. For anyone who does visit the school, we will have a hands-free sanitiser in the front entrance for you to use. In the event that a child becomes unwell during the day with symptoms of the virus, we will call you to come and collect, and your child should then be tested. I may then also need to send home the children in that group until the test results have come back. We know that many parents are worried, and we do share your fears. Remember what I said at the beginning of the video about being a parent. You may have lots of questions, and we're slowly working through most, if not all, of the answers. I've been working very closely with our entire staff team, as well as our governing body, planning and assessing all the potential risks that being back in school may bring. I've also been working alongside other colleague head teachers from across the city and officers from the local authority to ensure that our interpretations of the government's wishes and guidance is appropriate and correct for our children. I hope my video has at least enabled you to see what we've done and has given you a flavour of the importance that we attach to keeping everyone as safe as possible. Thank you for watching, and I do look forward to seeing your children back in school from June the 1st.